Hi guys, thanks for all the questions over the last week. So we'll answer some of them today and we'll answer some of them over the next couple of days. So first question in was from Anya. So Anya asked, who did I look up to when I was young? So good question, Anya. So the people I looked up to when I was young was number 1, Sonia O'Sullivan. So I used to do a little bit of athletics myself, and at the time Sonia O'Sullivan was the best athlete in the world, and she was from Cork, and she was somebody that I suppose that I aspired to being like. 2, Teddy McCarthy. So Teddy McCarthy played football and hurling for Cork, and that was always my dream, to play football and camogie for Cork. So Teddy McCarthy was someone who I always looked up to, and when I was running around the garden at home, I used to pretend to be Teddy McCarthy. And 3, Irene O'Keefe. So Irene O'Keefe played camogie with Cork. She's from Enniscarra and played camogie with Enniscarra, and I'm from Enniscarra and I play camogie with Enniscarra. And I remember going to Crow Park to support Irene in the Cork camogie team and thinking that someday I'd love if that was me, that I got the chance to play with Cork. So they were the 3 people I looked up to when I was young. Thanks, Anya. Next we had Keelan from Nave Olive in Dublin. So Keelan recently broke her finger, so she asked how could she improve the strength in her fingers. So Keelan, what I'd say is, once the doctors and the physios have passed you to be okay to go back training, start off with a low amount of training and then build it up gradually, so you strengthen up your fingers gradually, strengthen up the bones and the muscles in your fingers. Second, she asked, how did I do well in both sport and in work? And I suppose, Keelan, look, I've been very lucky. I've really loved sport my whole life. I've loved football and camogie, but I've also really loved school. And I suppose school was always a break from sport, and sport was a break from school as well. And I always tried to put a big effort into both of them, and I tried to make sure that I didn't overdo my schoolwork, that I was having an impact on my sport, and likewise that I wasn't overdoing my sport, that I wasn't having an impact on my schoolwork. She asked, how did I manage to fit in all the trainings and all the practice? So Keelan, I suppose number 1, I was very lucky in that my parents were great to bring me to all the trainings and all the practices. Number 2, I had a diary always, and I still do, so that I can organise all the trainings that I can go to, and obviously the trainings that I can't go to as well, because you're trying to balance football and camogie. And then I suppose the third and most important thing is that I love it, I really enjoy it. I always bring a bit of enthusiasm to training and to practicing on my own. So that's really important. You have to enjoy it, and enjoy practicing, be it off the wall or with your family or with your friends. And then I suppose Keelan asked as well for a few tips. So Keelan, you play in the forwards. I suppose I've always been either a defender or a midfielder, so I don't have a whole pile of tips for you as a forward. But what I would say on the flip side is that as a defender, one thing that makes me nervous is that if someone is equally as strong on their left and their right side, or on their left and their right leg, it means that you can't mark them quite as tightly. If they have the ball, you have to stay off them a bit. So if you're a forward, try and be as comfortable on both sides. And the second question was about under the high ball. So my 2 tips about catching a high ball is, 1, make sure you get your feet right. So make sure you're in the correct position on the ground to catch the high ball. So move your feet to get into the correct position. And number 2, if you're jumping to catch the ball, make sure you catch it at its highest point. And you can practice that with just small throws at home, just to yourself. So get your feet right and get up and catch the ball at the highest point. So thanks very much for the question, guys. Really enjoyed them, and I hope you enjoy them too.